It's time to reimagine exceptional. Introducing the Buick Envision. Experience advanced technology with breathtaking clarity and help keep the noise out, creating a serene space within. With advanced safety technologies standard on Envision, experience confident driving wherever the road takes you. Discover what it's like to make every day an occasion. Buick, exceptional by design.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful day on the Gulf Coast, day 3 of the 2025 SWAC softball tournament here at the Gulfport Sportsplex. Glad you can join us. Our producer, James Crenshaw, the one and only Charles Edmond, and crew. We are underway, day number 3. We've got elimination games. The loser of this game is eliminated. The winner of this game will come back tonight at 6 o'clock. That is Texas Southern University, the number 2 seed in the West versus Florida A&M, winners of the Eastern Division. Zorianna Hughes, second team all-conference pitcher on the mound for Florida A&M. Here's the pitch strike call. We started with 8. We'll be down to 6. And now 2 of these teams, once we get to later in the day, will be eliminated as well. One of these teams will be playing twice. The winner will come back and play tonight at 6 o'clock. The winner of our next game, Prairie View and Bethune-Cookman, will come back and play at 6 o'clock as well. Then we have Alabama State, Jackson State. The winner of that game is in the SWAC championship game. Here's a bunt to third. The throw across is there. Trying to lay down a bunt, and Canny throws out Kylie Wilson, who has been everything for Texas Southern on the mound. She will pitch, and she has pitched every inning of Texas Southern's first 2 games. 1 out, base is empty for the left fielder, Marissa Perla. Zorianna Hughes pitched against Texas Southern in last year's game in the SWAC tournament. FAMU won that game 4-0. Zorianna Hughes was terrific in that game. 7 innings pitched, struck out 6 against this team last year in the SWAC tournament. There's a foul off to the right side. Marissa Perla, left fielder for Texas Southern. Florida A&M, the home team. Perla hitting .250 in the SWAC tournament. This is her 9th at bat. During the season, Perla hit .227. The 0-2 just missed 1-2. Following this game, we'll have Prairie View, who stayed alive, eliminating Southern. Taking on Bethune-Cookman, who lost their first game to Jackson State. That game coming up next. 77 degrees under mostly sunny skies here on the Gulf Coast. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss, 2 out. 2 out. And it'll bring up Lene Carr, the center fielder. Texas Southern lost to Alabama State 5-4, beat Grambling 4-3. 2 out. Second team all-conference pitcher Zorianna Hughes won 10 games during the season. The off-speed, ground ball to third, the throw across, 1-2-3 inning as Canty throws out Carr. Side is retired, underway here in Gulfport, day 3, a half inning complete. FAMU coming to bat after this from the Gulf Coast on the SWAC Digital Network.
of winning started with the 65 Gators losing steam, losing sweat.
We've identified the problem. What is the solution?
A drink scientifically designed to hydrate better than water, so they could sweat more, win more, and change the game forever.
Boom, pop, boom, 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 pop, bam.
Naturally, we called our stuff Gatorade.
We follow pizza drivers and make sure the customers get a Pepsi.
Pizza guy, Pepsi guy.
Is that legal?
It's a gray area.
Not going anywhere, pal.
To enhance your pizza's flavor.
That's the perfect combo.
Yeah, he's still following me. Probably a stupid marketing stunt.
We welcome you back to the Gulf Coast full day of softball. We are back on schedule. We had 2 games late yesterday on field number 10. No rain today. Warm and humid today. That's what you expect this time of year here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Underway, bottom of the first inning. Sierra Maple stands in for Florida A&M. The Lady Rattlers beat Grambling 3-2. Lost 7-3 to Alabama State. Florida A&M has had chances in this tournament. They stranded 11 last night, stranded 9 in the previous game. 20 runners stranded for Florida A&M, so they've had their opportunities. We'll see what Sierra Maple does here. She had 387 during the year, 556 average in the tournament. This is her 10th at bat. Slaps it foul. And we talked about it at the top. Kylie Wilson has pitched every inning for Texas Southern in the SWAC tournament. 14 innings pitched. 1-2 the count here in the bottom of the first inning. This pitch is low. Coming up later, Alabama State and Jackson State, both teams undefeated. They played 6 times during the year, Eastern Division rivals. The winner of that game is in the SWAC championship game. The loser of that game will have to come back tomorrow at 10:30. 2-2 the count. The 2-2 slapped foul. Sierra Maple, Kiana Watson, and Jamison Townsend here in the bottom of the first inning. The count is 2-2. Bottom of the first. 2-2 call, third strike on the inside corner. Steven Anderson, the home plate umpire. Eric May at first and Willie Wright at third. Our crew for this first game, day 3. Quite a few low-scoring games yesterday. Prairie View scoring 8 and Jackson State scoring 8. But for the most part, it's been low-scoring defensive battles. We've had some gems in the field. Outfield, at least 2 home runs have been robbed of. And on the infield, we've had some defensive gems at short and third and at second for teams throughout this tournament. Here's the 1-0. Inside, ball 2. Kiana Watson, second team all-conference second baseman at 316 during the season. And Watson, 375 average in the postseason, her 9th at bat. The 2-0, strike called, 2-1. Yesterday, Southern and Grambling were eliminated. Once we get to midday, 2 others will be eliminated. The loser of this game will be eliminated. The winner has to come back tonight and play at 6 o'clock. There's a fly ball foul, and play could not be made by Texas Southern's catcher, Charisma Garcia. You know, in softball, you're used to doubleheaders. You're used to back-to-backs, though. Whoever wins this game will have to come back tonight and play around 6 o'clock if everything is on schedule. 2-2 the count. Popped up right side, and it's going to land just out of play. Teams do things differently, but pretty much the same routine. Whoever wins this game, get them off their feet, get a bite to eat, back to the hotel, get off your feet, and just kind of follow what happens for the next couple of games, because you know at 6 o'clock at the earliest, you just have to follow the action throughout the day, whoever wins this game. Here's the 2-2, rise ball high, full count. Kylie Wilson, all-conference pitcher, 9-8 during the season. Base is empty. And Florida A&M has their first base runner, Fiona Watson. A one-out walk.
One out, headed to the plate is number 3, Jamison Townsend.
Jamison Townsend, the freshman, .333 during the season. And Townsend, .286 in the postseason. So FAMU with a one-out base runner. We'll see if Coach Brittany Beal does some running here to put her team in position. The difference last night in the 7-3 loss, in part a 4-run first for Alabama State. This pitch misses outside. Runner is going, and the tag, and she is out as Watson caught stealing. Umpire Willie Wright on the call. Well, Brittany Beal just trying to get aggressive early. Count is 1-1. So Watson walked and was caught stealing. Now 2 out in the inning. Strong throw from the catcher Charisma Garcia across. Here's the 2-1 pitch. 2-2. It'll really be an interesting day. This is the sunniest it's been. It's day 3 of the SWAC softball tournament. Yesterday we played about 5 minutes of game 1 before the skies opened up, rain and lightning. Here's the 2-2, foul off to the right side. We are expected to talk with SWAC Commissioner Dr. Charles McClellan. And this beautiful backdrop on this sunny day, day 3. Count remains 2-2, 2 out. Texas Southern went down in order in the first. Base is empty, 2 out here in the bottom of the first for the Rattlers. The 2-2. Inning over. An inside pitch. 2 strikeouts for Wilson. Side is retired. We'll take a break. Top 2 coming up, 4, 5, and 6. Durr, Sands, and Menchaca. As you look at the strikeout here, as Kylie Wilson has struck out 2 of the first 3 hitters she has faced. Top 2 coming up after this on the SWAC Digital Network.
HBCU friends and fam, spread the word. The Retool Your School program is back and making a bigger impact than ever before. For more than 15 years, we've been making a difference by helping HBCUs build what they need to take their campuses to the next level. From lounges for ideation and collaboration to gardens that beautify campuses, this year we're showing up in a big way, helping HBCUs shine with over $3 million in Retool Your School grants. Find out more at retoolyourschool.com. Retool Your School. We're powered by purpose.
Fun, memories, friendship. We're here for all of it. Here for the big moments and the small ones too. We're here for unforgettable triumph, momentary misfortune, and the impromptu throwdown. We're out here each day, chasing something great. Call it adventure, call it play, we call it fun. Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there.
Top of the second inning at the plate for the Tigers, number 16, Didier.
As you see the fans sitting on the first base side, that's where Texas Southern's dugout is. We've had good crowds here despite the weather. Today, you don't have to worry about it. 78 degrees, the humidity will be a factor. Breeze off the ocean. We are underway here in the top of the second inning. Durr, the third baseman for TSU. Durr, Sands, and Menchaca for Texas Southern, facing Zoriana Hughes. She was terrific as a freshman last year, made all-conference second team in her second season. Hughes gets the sign. Hughes was involved in this matchup last year, getting the start. Here's the 2-0, a fly ball in the shallow right. It's going to drop for a base hit. First base runner.
Durr with a single in the right
Durr, a single in the right.
One runner on first for the Tigers.
Durr hitting 200 in the tournament. Gets things started for Texas Southern in the second.
Penelope Sands.
Penelope Sands stands in. Sands, 243 during the season. Sands, a good tournament, 571, her 8th at bat, 4 hits. That's ball low and inside, ball 1. So Texas Southern trying to stay alive. Texas Southern lost 5-4, won 4-3, eliminating Grambling. Here's the 1-0. Nice ball high. Runner stumbling from first, and Durr gets back in. Hughes gets the sign and brings it home. Square in the bunt. Bunts it foul. Off to the right side. The count is 2-1. Full day here on the Gulf Coast. You got the Gulfport Sportsplex coming up next. It'll be Prairie View. Lost to Bethune-Cookman. Eliminated Southern University. Take on Bethune-Cookman again coming up next. Then at 3:30, it'll be Alabama State, Jackson State. Meet for the 7th time this season. Here's the 2-1. Count is even. The winner of that game advances to the SWAC championship game. The loser will have to come back tomorrow at 10:30. 2-2 the count. 2-2 pitch. High, full count. Count 3-2. Durr led off with a single to right.
Full count.
Joanna Hughes with a single to start this inning. Here's the pitch. And she gets Sands. And that is her second strikeout. Both pitchers have struck out 2 here in the early going. Zoriana Hughes. Sands couldn't catch it. Destiny Menchaca stands in. Menchaca, 292 during the season. Menchaca just 167 in the tournament. Pitch strike called to Menchaca. 0-1 the count. Top of the second inning. It's the 0-1. Fouled off to the right side. 0-2 the count. forget the SWAC baseball tournament. A few weeks from Rickwood Park in Birmingham. Was looking at the baseball standings. Now Bethune-Cookman leading. Of course, no East and West divisions. This pitch misses outside. You talk about seeding 2 through 7. You've got maybe 2 or 3 games separation. You got 3 teams on winning streaks. Southern on a winning streak. Jackson State is red hot right now, so a lot to be decided in SWAC baseball. Tournament coming up in a few weeks. Here's the 1-2. Fouled off. Of all the action. SWAC Digital Network. The old ballpark in Birmingham, where last year they hosted an MLB game in the summer last June. The San Francisco Giants and the St. Louis Cardinals. The second time the SWAC baseball tournament has been at Rickwood Park. Here's the 1-2. Off speed, misses. So much history. You just walk in there, you can just feel some of the old greats talking to you when you walk in there. Just a different feel. Looking forward to it. 2-2 the count. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts. So after the leadoff single to Durr, Hughes strikes out Sands and Menchaca. She's got 3. She has struck out 3 of the first 6 hitters she's faced. It'll bring up Charisma Garcia. Garcia, 210 during the season. Garcia just 167 in the postseason. Pitch to Garcia inside, ball 1. Zoriana Hughes during the season, 53 strikeouts, earned run average of 2.69. Here's the 1-0 pitch coming up for Hughes, her second appearance in the postseason. This pitch misses outside. Zoriana Hughes has pitched 3 innings in the SWAC tournament. 4 2/3 innings, an ERA of 3. She has 7 strikeouts in 5 innings in the postseason, including the 3-7 plus the 3 here. 10 strikeouts for Zoriana Hughes. Here's the 2-0. Strike called. ERA of 3. Previous appearance, 4 2/3 innings. Struck out 7, 2 earned runs on 5 hits. And with the 3 strikeouts here, she has 10 strikeouts in the postseason. 2-1 the count, 2 out. And here's a shot foul. Down the third baseline, Eric May tried to get out of the way of it. First base umpire just skirted by. Count is 2-2. Two and 2 the count, 2 out. Florida A&M will have 4, 5, and 6 coming up in the bottom of the second inning. The 2-2. Foul straight back. First of 4 games today. We're going to whittle it down. 2 more teams will be eliminated. The loser of this game's eliminated. The loser of the next game, Southern and Prairie View. Prairie View and Bethune-Cookman, is eliminated. Southern was eliminated yesterday by Prairie View. There's a fly ball to third. Side is retired. So after the leadoff single, 2 strikeouts and a fly ball, Texas Southern strands their first runner. We'll take a break here. Bottom of the second inning, Brown, Spooner, Smith, 4, 5, and 6. Day 3. Game 1, beautiful day in the Gulf Coast here on the SWAC Digital Network.
The 2025 SWAC Women's Tennis Tournament champions, the Florida A&M Rattlers.
Umbrellas are out for the right reasons. Trying to protect themselves from the sun. Of course, it's not the wrong reason when it's raining. And, we've had some of that. Fastball low. Again, the conference office did a nice job in huddling up after the start of yesterday's game. We played about 5 minutes of the first game, and skies opened up, lightning. If we played it out, or we tried to wait it out yesterday, probably that lightning delay would have probably been an hour and a half at least. 30 minutes delay automatically, and then for every lightning strike in the area, you tack on another 30 minutes. So after looking at the forecast, rain throughout until about 6 o'clock, I think the conference made the right call, stopping everything until 6, knowing they had other fields available to get caught up, and it worked out. And every year we've had to do that. We have both games on the SWAC Digital Network. Field 10 behind us. James Crenshaw making that work, as he always does. Here's the 2-1, swing and a miss. Count is 2-2. Terrific camera angles. Two and two the count. Here's the 2-2. Round ball foul. Warren Sutton on the camera at first. Juan Davis at third. James Crenshaw, the producer. Had to battle a lot of stuff the first couple of days. Breaking down equipment, trying to keep it from getting wet and all that. It's just what you have to do to get around Mother Nature. We don't have to deal with it today, though. 2-2 the count. If anything, the heat and humidity. Here's the 2-2. Just missed. Full count. Maury Brown, the shortstop. Brown, the junior, 358 during the season. Maury Brown hitting 429 in the postseason with 3 hits. Brown slaps it foul. 2 RBIs. One thing about Florida A&M, they've had the opportunities. They have left 21 runners on base in this SWAC tournament. Full count, 3-2. Pitch from Wilson. Fouled off. Texas Southern has left 15 runners on base, and here's a base hit. Leading it off for Brown. So Florida A&M with their first base runner in the second. Durr led off for Texas Southern, a leadoff single in the second. Maury Brown does the same. Leading it off for FAMU. Kaylee Spooner, the catcher, stands in. He was involved in a play last night, an interference play. pitch to Spooner, fouled off. Ball, Spooner was at second. Ball caromed off the pitcher's glove. Spooner got tangled up with the shortstop. After review, it was determined that it was interference on Spooner. It was a big play in the game last night. Spooner check swing, pitch sails low. Spooner 303 during the regular season, and Spooner 333 during the regular season, during this postseason, with 2 hits, 2 RBIs. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Spooner fouled it off to the right side. Count is 1-2. 1-2 the count. Second straight game, Florida A&M is the home team. 1-2 the count. Wilson brings it home. Misses 2-2. We have seen situations in past SWAC softball tournaments where you've had one pitcher pitch the entire tournament. Doesn't happen that often, but it has happened. 2-2 the count. The commissioner knows that. Here's the 2-2. Spooner shot to second, bobbled, and the throw was there. Bobbled at second.
Now with 1 out on second.
And Menchaca had time to throw out Spooner.
Number 22, Samantha Smith. Duggins on deck.
Samantha Smith, the DP, stands in. Samantha Smith 203 during the regular season. Samantha Smith 250 here in the postseason. So runner at second, a chance for Florida A&M, strike called. Only 1 the count. 1 out, runner at second. Off speed, got a hit of it. Off down the third base line, Willie Wright. Skipping the rope. Willie Wright in the rocking chair at third base. Count is 0-2. To the count, 1 out. And there's a ground ball to second, runner to third. Chaka throws out Smith. So Amari Brown, who led off with a single, she's at third. First baseman Brianna Duggins. Duggins 286 in this postseason, 8th at bat. Brianna Duggins, the senior, 291 during the season, so a chance for FAMU to get on the board. Duggins, a fly ball in the right, and the side is retired. Frozen for a moment, ranged back, and Pryor hauls it in, and the side is retired. We'll take a timeout here. We'll be right back. Bottom of the lineup for Texas Southern when we come back on the SWAC Digital Network.
It's time to reimagine exceptional. Introducing the Buick Envision. Experience advanced technology with breathtaking clarity and help keep the noise out, creating a serene space within. With advanced safety technologies standard on Envision, experience confident driving wherever the road takes you. Discover what it's like to make every day an occasion. Buick, exceptional by design.
A history of winning started with the 65 Gators losing steam, losing sweat.
We've identified the problem. What is the solution?
A drink scientifically designed to hydrate better than water, so they could sweat more, win more, and change the game forever.
Boom, bop, boom, 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 bop, bam.
Naturally, we called our stuff Gatorade.
We welcome you back to the Gulfport Sportsplex. 79 degrees here. It's a good sight to see with the sun. A good day for softball. We're going to get all these games in today. And we'll deal with tomorrow. There's the pitch low. Ball one. Guardiola at the plate for Texas Southern. Melanie Guardiola, 182 during the regular season. Guardiola, 333 during the postseason. There's a rise ball strike called. We'll talk with the commissioner, Dr. Charles McClellan, in the next inning. He was giving me some moon facts. I got the moon wrong last night. I said full moon, and it was not a full moon. He pointed out to me. I probably never should have brought up the moon. I should have said it was a clear sky. that was where I was going, but then I took it too far. 2-1 the count. So he'll join us coming up on this backdrop of this beautiful day. 2-1 the count. The 2-1. Strike call, 2-2. Coming up next, Prairie View, Bethune-Cookman, head coach Vernon Bland. His team got off the mat, eliminating Southern University. We'll take on Bethune-Cookman for the second time. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. And Zoriana Hughes. That's her fourth strikeout, and she has struck out 3 of the last 4 batters she has faced. 1 out. One out, base is empty. And there's a bunt fielded by Hughes, and the throw is there. Marissa Martinez, 314 during the regular season, and she's hitting .800. 4 hits, scoring 3 runs, 3 doubles in the postseason. Try to butt her way on there. 2 out in the 3rd inning. Kylie Wilson, pitcher at the plate. Wilson hitting .600, her 7th at bat. So not only she pitched every inning for Texas Southern, one of the top hitters in the tournament. Second to only Martinez of this TSU team. As a slapper too short, and the throw across is there. And the side is retired. As the shortstop Brown throws out Wilson. So we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. No score. 8, 9, and 1 coming up. Canty Lee, top of the lineup. Coming up after this, Game 1, Day 3 here on the SWAC Digital Network.
HBCU friends and fam, spread the word. The Retool Your School program is back and making a bigger impact than ever before. For more than 15 years, we've been making a difference by helping HBCUs build what they need to take their campuses to the next level. From lounges for ideation and collaboration to gardens that beautify campuses, this year we're showing up in a big way, helping HBCUs shine with over $3 million in Retool Your School grants. Find out more at retoolyourschool.com. Retool Your School. We're powered by purpose.
Fun, memories, friendship. We're here for all of it. Here for the big moments and the small ones too. We're here for unforgettable triumph, momentary misfortune, and the impromptu throwdown. We're out here each day, chasing something great. Call it adventure, call it play, we call it fun. Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there.
For the third, no score in the game. At the plate.
Florida A&M coming to bat here in the bottom of the third inning. Nia Canty, third baseman for Florida A&M, 261 during the season. Canty, 167 here in this postseason. Their 7th at bat in the tournament. One and one the count. Here's the 1-1. Off speed, ground ball, foul. Count is 1-2. 8, 9, and 1. Canty, Lee, and Maple coming up for Florida A&M. Bottom of the third inning. Let's pitch up and in. Forget, another loser's bracket game coming up next. Prairie View and Bethune-Cookman. The loser of that game is eliminated. The winner of this game has to come back tonight at 6. Here's a ground ball. It's foul. It's foul. Fielded in foul territory. At third by Durr. 2-2 the count. Whatever team wins this game, quick celebration and a quick exit. Get off your feet, rehydrate, relax, recharge. You got to be right back up here tonight sometime. And then even winner of the next game, Prairie View Bethune-Cookman, they'll have even a shorter time to recover and get ready for the potential 6 o'clock game. And later it'll be Alabama State, Jackson State. The winner of that game is in the SWAC championship game. The loser of that game will have to come back tomorrow at 10:30. Here's a ground ball to second. Shaka rolls out Canty.
Headed to the plate is number 9, Nariah Lee.
Mariah Lee, the junior, 300 during the season. Mariah Lee, 286 in the postseason, her 8th at bat. Lee, swing and a miss. So later it'll be Jackson State trying to go for their 2nd straight tournament championship. It was done a couple of years ago in Prairie View. Won it in 22 and 23. Jackson State won it in 24. There's a ground ball to second. Menchaca has been active defensively. That's 4 assists for her.
And headed to the plate.
2 out.
Back to the top of the batting order.
Top of the lineup.
Sierra Maple.
Sierra Maple struck out her last time up. Square in the butt. Puts it straight back. 0-1 the count. Forget for the latest stats, information, news, updates, box scores. Go to SWAC.org. They keep it fresh, keep it updated, especially during the weather delays the last couple of days. Got to keep you up to date. Rise ball is high. Count is 1-1 with 2 out. 1 the count. Kylie Wilson has pitched every inning for Texas Southern this postseason. Here's the 1-1. Rise ball is high. I mean, in softball, what I've seen over the years, if you've got 3 really strong arms, you got something. We've seen teams go through just a couple of arms in the tournament. In situations where one pitcher carries them all the way. This pitch strike call. I think Alabama State won the tournament a few years ago, and they rode one arm all the way. 3-1 the count. So it has happened. 3-1 the count, 2 out. 3-1, a line shot to third, and the side is retired. And that is 6 in a row set down by Wilson. On the other hand, Zoriana Hughes has set down 6 in a row. So both teams in a groove. Top of the 4th inning. 2, 3, and 4 coming up for Texas Southern. Watson, Townsend, Brown. After this on the SWAC Digital Network.
We follow pizza drivers to make sure the customers get a Pepsi.
Pizza guy. Pepsi guy.
Is that legal?
It's a gray area.
Not going anywhere, pal.
To enhance your pizza's flavor.
That's the perfect combo.
Yeah, he's still following me. Probably stupid marketing stunt.
The SWAC, the premier athletic conference in the nation. A collection of schools rich in tradition, pride, and pedigree. Sacrifice, winning, allegiance, champions. We are the SWAC, building champions for life.
Back here in Gulfport. Gulfport Sportsplex. Marissa Perla, Lene Carr, Durr, 2, 3, and 4 for Texas Southern. Zoriana Hughes has set down 6 in a row. Kylie Wilson has set down 6 in a row. Both pitchers in a rhythm. Here is the pitch. Misses outside. Ball 1. We're underway here in the top of the 4th inning. And we are joined at the other microphone by SWAC Commissioner Dr. Charles McClellan. Doc, how you doing, sir?
Doing fine, Charles. Thank you for having me.
Man, it's been a busy few days dealing with softball and Mother Nature.
Yes, sir, but that's what it's all about. You know, softball at 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. That's what it's all about.
Yes, here's a 1 hopper to second. But look, I have to give you, your team, I mean, you all do a really good job with it. When stuff like this happens, you have to pivot on the fly. And the good thing about being here, a number of fields, you can pivot by spreading games around. You had 2 games on the field, 10 last night to get caught up in. We are back on schedule.
Yeah, very important. Part of the reason why we're here, obviously Gulfport is a good place for us, built-in entertainment, but the facility works well for us, and when we have those anomalies, we're able to get caught up. The turf allows us to be able to get games going almost immediately once lightning passed. So perfect place for us, and hope to be here for quite a long time.
Well, the thing is, with softball as well as baseball, you can play through rain, but when lightning is in the area, you have to pause it, and the rules are for 30 minutes, and any other strike after that, you tack on another 30 minutes. And if we had tried to wait this thing out yesterday, Dr. McClellan, who knows how long we'd be sitting here.
Well, I think we looked at the weather forecast, Charles. It was pretty clear we needed to get out of here pretty fast. But again, sunset yesterday, beautiful evening, and that's what, you know, SWAC softball, especially championship softball, is all about. It's a great time of the year outside. The weather, you know, it was cool last night.
Yes.
You know, it was kind of softball weather. And for those of you that are not or have not had an opportunity to come, I think you're definitely missing a treat.
1-2 the count as Lene Carr grounded to third her last time up. Scoreless, another low-scoring game with the exception of a couple. They've all been low-scoring. Pitches outside. Well, your thoughts, the comments that you've been getting from various folks about the tournament being here on the Gulf Coast. You talked about it when we first got here, the economic impact, and it's been big crowds throughout.
Yeah, people like Gulfport, and each and every year we have more and more fans to come. It was kind of neat to see last night with 2 games going at the same time, 4 teams here. the massive amount of crowd that we had.
Fly ball to center. And it's going to be caught for the second out by Sierra Maple. Yeah, it's been really energetic crowds here as 2 out.
But you know, Charles, we've actually have had increased crowd participation in just about all of our championships. You look at what happened at basketball in Atlanta. We were about 500 people from selling out that Saturday night, and we had inclement weather that night. But through the course of the entire tournament, we had over 23,000 people to attend those games, which again is significant. So you look at, you know, football, we've always had large crowds, but they've started to pick up, you know, across the board in all of our championships. The cities have a lot to do with it, the entertainment, but also the competitiveness of our student athletes. So it's continuing to grow.
Durr at the plate. She singled her last time up. 8 in a row set down by Zoriana Hughes. Strike called. 1-1. And, you know, with softball, and you talked about the weather, getting these games in, you know, I was just following softball all year long. Every single regular season game was played between the end of the regular season and the tournament. There's a week to make up games, and there were a number of games that had to be made up and played. One picked up in the 7th inning. But all the games were played. And I remember way back when, there was an 80% rule. I think it was in baseball. But talk about that. It's a 100% rule in softball and baseball.
Well, no, baseball is back to 80%. It's
Okay.
been 80% now for about 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
We did have it at 100%. Softball has continued to stay at 100%. I do anticipate a couple of proposals from the softball coaches. They've already presented that they want to play everyone, so do away with the divisions and have just one championship. Baseball moved to that this year, although baseball didn't extend or move back the season, so everybody doesn't play everybody. I think they play, of the 12 teams, there's 11 possible games. I think they play 9. So there's a rotation. So you have to look at the number of weeks. But with baseball, the fact that they didn't move it back, there is no week of makeup. They have the 80% rule. Now, as a former athletic director that got caught into the 80% rule, I've always said, in order to make the tournament, it should be determined on the field. It should not be determined on deciding which game should or should not be played based on the 80% rule. But I anticipate softball wanting to move to do away with divisions, and if they do that, it'll be very interesting to see if the 80% comes into play or you stay with 100%.
Now, way back when we had a softball roundup, would that be on the table as well if you do away with divisions? Because I've talked with some coaches, and that's, if you're going to do this, do away with divisions, you had a roundup back in the day in Hattiesburg and other places. Is that on the table to kind of make that a little easier?
Well, I think everything is on the table. Again, we say this and we try to hammer it home, but, you know, I don't think our fan base really understands it. Every rule, every proposal starts with the coaches.
Right.
Then it goes through the athletic directors, and depending on what it is, consequently through the presidents.
Yeah.
So I think everything is on the table, but it goes back to what those coaches want. Now, one rule that we did pass, because one thing that we could not continue to do is go back and forth. We'll do something this year, and then we go back to next year and back this year. We passed a rule, and I think the threshold is 70 or 75% in order for it to move towards being taken up by the athletic directors and SWA. So if there's not a 70, 75% threshold on the vote, then the motion will fail. So it has to be an overwhelming majority for the coaches to move it forward. So when you start talking about roundups, it's going to start and stop with what the coaches want to do.
Yeah.
If they want a roundup, very easily done. But we moved away from roundups simply because there was a lot of competitive inequities that went on with the roundup. Too many to kind of discuss on this broadcast.
Yeah.
But I think our coaches want to be able to go to, you know, Bethune-Cookman at Daytona and want to go to Tallahassee and see everybody. And from a conference office, our responsibility is put the scheduling together. We can do that very easily. We already have it modeled out. So it's going to start and stop with the softball coaches, and then ultimately go to the ADs and SWAs to codify whatever the softball coaches want to do.
Sands 1-2 the count. As Zoriana Hughes, second team all-conference pitcher, going to get out of this inning. There's that foul straight back. You know, again, every time we talk, Mr. Commissioner, I do have to, and I forgot to do it, we have to add this addendum that the conference office is a facilitator and in terms of, you know, stuff that gets voted on, and then you have to. Yeah,
that's true. But if you talk to my dad, he said, "Well, aren't you commissioner?" Right? So do I have the authority to change something that the membership votes in? I guess technically, but you very rarely see a commissioner override what the membership wants. So there are a lot of things that are out there that, you know, people may like or may not like, and it's easy to point to either a coaches group or the ADs group or the conference office, but it is truly a democracy.
It's a base hit for Sands, and after setting down 8 in a row, a walk to Durr, and Sands a base hit into right center, and it's 2 on here for Texas Southern. Very competitive softball games, Mr. Commissioner. Low-scoring games. We had a couple of high-scoring games last night, but I am really impressed with the pitching and the low-scoring games and just the back and forth, the extra innings, just the little things.
Yeah, our softball continues to be competitive. You know, and we talk a lot about name, image, and likeness and how that is going to affect. I think, in my opinion, it's going to help the sport of softball within the Southwestern Athletic Conference. There's not going to be a whole lot of money available at the power conferences for name, image, and likeness. And a lot of our athletic directors are starting to get into the name, image, and likeness threshold. It will start with football and basketball. As a matter of fact, it's already started in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. For those that don't know, there are some student athletes that are getting name, image, and likeness dollars from the institutions and have been promised name, image, and likeness dollars for the upcoming year. But I think as we continue to grow and expand, you're going to see quality student athletes in the sport of softball and baseball choosing SWAC as a institution of first choice versus going somewhere to sit and not getting anything. I'd rather go to a SWAC institution, be able to play, compete at the highest level, and get some name, image, and likeness dollars. I actually think that is going to be a positive and a benefit. So our softball is already competitive. I anticipate it to continue to get stronger.
Going to the count, and Shaka caught looking. And so Texas Southern strands 2. They've left 3. We're going to keep it right here as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Pivoting to baseball, Mr. Commissioner. Baseball tournament is coming up. It's very competitive. We did away with the East and West divisions. And baseball's pretty competitive. Bethune-Cookman's at the top, but there are a number of teams that's right on their heels. You got 3 teams with pretty good winning streaks, and baseball's really competitive. And based on the coaches I've talked to, they seem to like no divisions. It's just you're playing just about everybody, and it's really competitive with baseball.
Yeah, and we'll see where they go. Our baseball group is one of those groups that, you know, do a lot of fluctuating as far as rules are concerned. Part of the reason why we kind of put in there to say we need consensus from the coaches group. But, you know, how could you argue, you know, a competitive SWAC baseball schedule? So when we brought in Bethune-Cookman and Florida A&M, cost containment was a key.
Yeah.
Right. So you're kind of looking at a different era. You think about it, it was COVID. There was a lot of issues that were, you know, going on with COVID, revenue generating, things of that nature. So bringing Bethune-Cookman and FAMU in, you know, cost containment was at the top of the list. Naturally, as you know, merge it and it goes over the course of the years, individual schools are going to want to play each other. You want to go to Florida. Florida wants to go to Texas. You want to have those experiences. And as we continue to grow and as the revenues continue to grow, you know, we're fully supportive of, you have to be financially conscious but we should not be making all of our decisions based upon trying to save, a dollar or two. We want the student-athlete experience to be quality, and to bring in two stellar institutions such as Bethune and FAMU, we need to be able to merge all 18 of our sports where they have the opportunity to interact. And this is just, in my opinion, part of that natural progression that we need to happen.
Well, Sands with a terrific play at short, Mr. Commissioner. We've seen some gems. A couple of home runs have been saved. Some really good web gems here in the softball tournament.
Yeah, stellar student athletes, as I stated. We can compete with anybody at any level. I think we've always said this, where we fall a little short in softball and baseball is that second and third pitcher, right? Top of the lineup, we can hit, we can run, we can pitch. When we start getting into the bullpen and later in those days, I think that's where that disadvantage comes from the Southwestern Athletic Conference from a financial standpoint.
Jamison Townsend struck out her last time up for the second time in this scoreless game, another low-scoring game. Pitch is high. Well, Mr. Commissioner, we are at Birmingham for the baseball tournament, back to Rickwood Park, where for the second time the SWAC tournament has been there. We were in Atlanta for a few years. Talk about that transition from Atlanta to Birmingham.
Well, loved Atlanta. They treated us well. Georgia Tech obviously put a lot of emphasis into it. We had, some issues with Georgia Tech relative to them wanting to have access to their field, getting ready to go to their tournament. So it wasn't a voluntary choice to leave Georgia Tech and go to Birmingham. But Birmingham basically stepped up. They gave us a significant amount of revenue, which allows us to be able to put on a quality tournament, do the things that we need to do. And the SWAC is in a much different place. Before, we were kind of searching and hoping for places. Now they are reaching out to us, and we try to look at facilities. We try to look at, the area and how it's going to enhance the student-athlete experience.
Here's a shot foul down the right side. Jamison Townsend struck out.
So, last year MLB came in and played their game there, put a significant amount of
Giants and Cardinals.
Yeah, significant amount of resources in revitalizing Rickwood. Actually, our baseball coaches were all for it. So it was kind of a natural progression, but it's going to be tough to leave, Midtown Atlanta, going to Birmingham, but it should be a really nice tournament.
There's a base hit for Townsend, and a base runner for Florida A&M with one out. Amari Brown stands in. She singled her last time up. We talked about it at the basketball tournament. We're going to transition to that as well. You want to go to where the action is. You want to go to where the people are. And we talked about it the last time, where Atlanta is now a hot spot for the Southwestern Athletic Conference. The basketball tournament is there. The baseball tournament was there. And so the notion of just being within the SWAC footprint, you kind of made it known, hey, we're going to go to where the action is, and Atlanta is where the action is.
Well, I think we were probably the only conference out of the 32 that had a geographical barrier on where we did business, right? When you look at conferences from a national standpoint, they're going where the fans want to go, the crowds are, and the dollars are, To say that SWAC is in this 6-state footprint, and just because we don't have a school in Atlanta, don't go to Atlanta, when Atlanta has the largest alumni base of all 12 collectively. And we saw the crowds, not just for baseball, but for basketball.
Yeah.
We had record crowds, for basketball. The city of College Park stepped up. Atlanta Fulton County Recreational Authority stepped up. We even had an opportunity to go to the state legislature and talk to the Senate, right? And the state is stepping up because they know what SWAC brings, the economic driver and the revenue driver. So we certainly understand that we need to have championships within our footprint. But basketball and football are kind of different based upon they are significant revenue generators. And if we can generate that revenue through our championships and, again, enhance that championship experience, it's something that we have to take a significant look at. So we have a committee. It includes coaches, it includes administrators. We work closely with the Council of Presidents. So we don't do things haphazardly.
Yeah.
But, again, we were the only conference that said that we're only going to have championships within our footprint. There are a lot of others that go way outside of their footprint to ensure that they have, all that they need to put on quality championships, and we just decided to do the same.
What tweaks are you all looking at with year 2 in Atlanta being there and the great momentum from year 1?
Well, we have a committee, and again, we'll go back. I think,
There's a foul ball down the third baseline, well hit down the left side.
You always look to improve. We have surveys out to the teams, the coaches, the administrators. We did some fan surveying there, so we'll take a look at all of the things that they thought went well and all of the things that they thought we need to improve on, and we'll take all of that into consideration and make those improvements because we want to continue to improve it. We want to continue to grow it. So, for example, we had the videos, so we had someone there filming all of the games, and there were new intro videos each time the team warm up on each day. That was something that we got feedback from the student athletes. We had the sparklers, we had the smoke. Again, feedback that we got from the student athletes to try to enhance, the overall tournament experience. We had ancillary events that were tied to it. Again, feedback that we got from the fan base. Even the pricing structure, it was an extremely cheap ticket, $10, where we normally had 2 sessions. We didn't even break the sessions up.
Yeah.
$10 you could get in and start watching basketball at 11 and then have to leave till 11 o'clock that night if you chose to. So the pricing structure, we listen to our constituency, everything we can't do, but we have committees, we have feedback groups, we have focus groups, and we'll continue to try to enhance.
I was impressed with just how everything was centrally located. You could fly in, really don't need transportation per se. Here's a ground ball to short. The force is there, 6-4, taking out Townsend. Brown running the bases. You can fly in, and the arena's right there. There's hotels right there, and even eating places within 10 minutes. Of course, there's traffic a little bit there, but still not too far away from pretty much anything you want to do.
Charles, for the first time since we've been doing this, at least under the tenure that I've been at the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and I know even for being on the council before, we sold out of our hotel room blocks, right? And that was team and fans. So we're actually going to have to add blocks. We were kind of nervous because we had to sign these contracts.
Yeah.
But our issue was we needed more rooms.
The ground ball to third is Spooner.
And I think that was a testament of everything was in that local area.
Yeah.
You didn't need an Uber. You didn't need a car. You could fly in. And that's another point. When people were talking about moving from Birmingham, going to Atlanta, we had quite a few of our teams because it was cheaper to fly to Atlanta and drive to Birmingham. We had our Texas teams would actually do that.
Yeah.
They were flying to Atlanta and driving to Birmingham. So when you start looking at our cities, it was much cheaper to go into Atlanta. So we had many more of our teams that actually flew. A lot of our fan base flew, but when you flew, you took the tram, you were able to go to the host hotels, you walked to the arena, you walked back in between. You can go take your nap and still come back. So we got a lot of positive feedback just on the location and the hotels and all of the ancillary things that were set up. We had food trucks if you wanted variety, from the arena. But the arena did a good job with their concessions as well. We had celebrities to show up, and part of what we wanted to do, we paid for some celebrities to perform, but other celebrities showed up organically, right? And we had some that were supposed to show up that didn't. So we think those are the types of things that our fans want to be a part of. Again, great environment for basketball. Atlanta, College Park, the mayor of College Park wanted us to make sure that we said College Park, not just Atlanta. They all welcomed us. And very excited for us to be able to return in future years.
Texas Southern, top of the 5th inning, Charisma Garcia grounded to third her last time up. Again, another low-scoring battle here as Zoriana Hughes strike call. I was sitting behind the area where you and the presidents were sitting along the court side there.
Hey, why you say it like that?
Well, I'm just saying. Just sitting. But my point is that every president that came up to you and talked to you, I can see the smile. They're looking up like, wow, this is impressive. I talked to one president personally recently, and he said he loved it. And so there's a lot of rave reviews from the administrative side. The president seemed to be really pleased with it.
Well, one of the feedback points that I got from the presidents was we got this big old arena and nobody is in here when we were in Birmingham. Heard the same thing in Houston. Heard the same thing when we were in Shreveport. Going back, heard the same thing when we were here in Biloxi. I could go, when we were in Baton Rouge at the convention center. I think, the Dream facility, we were playing at the Gateway Center, which is where the Atlanta Dream plays. It's set up as a professional arena, but it's the perfect size, the perfect fit for us. Again, with the amount of alumni that is based in Atlanta from those 12 institutions, it's a natural draw. I do think that we still have to do a better job of getting out within the Atlanta community, letting them know. But, the good news is we were 500 people away from selling out. So on that Saturday, there's still work to do. Now, we're bringing all 12 teams next year. So games are going to start on Monday, so there's still some work to do. But we were working with, the Atlanta public school system and all of the surrounding school systems to get those student athletes out. Had college fairs. I met several students that were admitted on the spot, got scholarship on the spots, met moms and say, hey, one particular say, we came back because my son got admitted and got a scholarship at Jackson State. He said he's going and he wanted to come back tonight to the game. So that's what this is all about, creating those educational opportunities.
Well, you brought up some interesting points about the format for the basketball tournament next year. All 12 teams are in it. As Ariola at the plate, struck out her last time up. I'm on different podcasts and conversations about that, Mr. Commissioner, and I know this was about student-athlete experience and getting that experience of all the teams. But then some would say bringing all the teams in, what is the regular season, what it would look like in terms of, with the exception of maybe playing for the regular season. What would you say to folks that say what is the importance of the regular season? Is the ground ball to second and the throw was there as Guardiola is 0 for 2?
Well, one of the important factors is there is a such thing as a regular season championship that carries a significant amount of financial resources to the programs. The second thing is the higher you finish, the less games you'll have to play. So with all 12 coming, there's going to be a double bye for those top teams. So it gives you a much better competitive chance to advance. And I go back, not saying that you do what everybody else does, but out of the 32 playing basketball conferences, we were the only one that did not include all of their teams. So we were kind of an anomaly in that regard. And finally, student-athlete experience. We found that there were some student-athletes at some institutions that had never experienced a championship, which we think is an extremely important part of that student-athlete experience. Now, let's be clear. I've always said you should have to do something to be able to get to your championship. But I think those other factors kind of overrode that piece of it. But if you go, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to go in as that, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th seed. It's going to be a difficult road.
And we saw that actually on the men's side. Those who finished 7 through 10 had to play back-to-back nights.
Well, and I would say this too. If you look at the overall level of competitiveness in the SWAC, moving to 10 teams actually eliminated a lot of tie-breaking issues. Each and every year, there were teams that were left out that had similar or same records. They got left out based upon tie-breaking scenarios. So there's not a whole lot of difference between 10 and 7. Now, there is a lot of separation between 12 and 10, but, between 10 and 7, you're talking a game or two difference. So the competitiveness is there.
Yep.
So adding those additional 2 teams, it's really going to be difficult for them to start on Monday, play Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. So, again, there's a lot to play for in the regular season, a regular season championship, which is significantly important. It brings a ring as well. And here's what, a lot of people kind of miss, Charles. you can get hot in the tournament and win 4 games or 5 games. But the champion of the Southwestern Athletic Conference is designated by regular season. It is not designated by tournament.
Right.
So the South, when you look at the history books and you talk about a SWAC champion, it is predicated on regular season. We do have tournament champions, but those are second when you look at within the history and the record book. So it is significant.
There's a shot to left field and a 1-2-3 inning as Martinez flies to left. Ryan Lee with the catch. So we continue on here, scoreless game, and we continue with Dr. Charles McClellan. One of the things, Doc, on the women's side, the first year of the Thursday-Saturday format, what feedback were you getting from that? And I understand that has to be voted on the meetings next month. Do you think that'll continue, or that's still up in the air?
I'm not sure. I haven't really had an opportunity to talk to, everyone within the membership. I do know that there was a lot of issues with it, but there were some schools that benefited from it as well. There were actually some schools that had increased attendance on the women's side. There were others that had decreased attendance. There was, a lot of fan feedback. I don't think that the majority of the fans were that happy with the change. And I think that feedback has been received by the membership and the member institutions. That was one of the things that my dad told me. He said, I understand that the membership voted on it, but you commissioner, can't you change it? And I was like, yeah, maybe technically, Dad, but I'm not going to go against what the membership wants if that's what the membership wants. But I think ultimately what came out of the room last year was, again, we were one of the only conferences that were still playing those double hitters in the manner in which we were playing them. There was quite a bit of momentum saying that women's basketball, we wanted them to be able to have their own day to be able to promote. But I think the vote passed based upon the fact that they were going to review it this year, see what worked, what didn't work, come back, talk about it, and make a more permanent decision. So I'll be interested in getting into the room. There are a lot of issues that goes on within the Southwestern Athletic Conference. I can tell you that one wasn't really at the top of my list to be able to, kind of gauge to see what the membership wants. I figured that would happen organically, and it has. We have it on the agenda. It will be talked about, and we'll see what comes from it.
Well, based on the coaches I've talked to, just doing games, and really didn't. I think they wanted to take a wait-and-see approach. It was there. Let's see what it looks like Thursday, Saturday. I did hear some positive stuff in terms of travel. You get back on a Sunday, the weekend, the full week on campus and all that. So there was some positive stuff from the coaches. But from the fans and other folks around campuses having to do a home game on Thursday, Saturday, and Monday, potentially, that was a little bit of a discussion. But from the coaches, they just wanted
a little bit. You jumped on me this time last year and said, man, what were you thinking? Did you think about the sports broadcasters?
Yeah, but no. I mean, yes, but no, because it was different. But, I got through it. But at least from the coaches just want to take a wait-and-see approach, and I really didn't hear anything negative from the coaches. I think, the travel and all that, get back midway through the weekend. I think that I didn't hear anything as far as from the coaches were concerned.
Yeah, I didn't get a lot of negative feedback from the coaches. I did hear some negative, again, from the individuals on campus having to work the Thursday, Saturday, Monday. I did hear, people such as yourself that, was kind of going back and forth, having to go to the same place twice. Understood all of that, and I think all of that will definitely be taken into consideration. But I can tell you, for all of the fans that are listening, your voices are heard. Your voices are heard on campuses. They're heard within the conference office, and those voices will be, put on the table as this has been discussed.
Well, chance for Florida A&M here in the bottom of the 5th inning. We're talking with SWAC Commissioner Dr. Charles McClellan. It's always good to talk with Doc. Always good to talk to. There's a fly ball on the left side. It's going to be up against the netting and out of play. So when it comes to football, Doc, we'll kind of put a capper on football. SWAC championship game, celebration bowl. Just talk about the football season, some of the things. The going to be looking at or maybe discussed from the football perspective?
Well, I would just say, what a season for T.C. Taylor, homegrown. Was at Jackson State with Deion. Deion kind of made him offensive coordinator. Then he wasn't, then he was, and then he wasn't. He kind of hung in there. Deion had such great seasons, but couldn't get, over the Celebration Bowl hump, and here comes T.C. Taylor. One of my better stories of the Celebration Bowl, I was invited into the locker room, and I typically don't go in the locker room of teams, especially in pregame, but I was invited in because I was a little worried. Jackson State had been there a couple times before. The MEAC was, on a roll with Jackson State, and the calm that I saw in that locker room and the confidence that I saw in that locker room. When I walked out, I went back to where I was sitting, and I told the people around me, I said, this is going to be a good day for Jackson State and a good day for the Southwestern Athletic Conference. The way that TC owned the room, the way that the players responded to them, just the look of determination in their eyes. They understood that they were playing for something a little bit bigger than just themselves, just a little bit bigger than the Celebration Bowl, and I was very pleased with the outcome.
Slapper back to pitcher Wilson, and runner stays at second with 2 out. Well, the Celebration Bowl obviously was a little bit earlier. John Grant talked about that and the adjustments. Got to make that for television. And so from the media perspective, how is that looking in terms of the ESPN family of networks and some of the social media stuff and the games on the different platforms?
Well, going back to the games being played earlier, I wasn't real happy about that because it puts us at a competitive disadvantage. It didn't play out that way because we had the shorter break, and it seems like we were ready to play. I just to move us for CFP, I understand, but I wasn't that happy. I was definitely pleased that from a viewership standpoint, our fans continued to show up and continued to watch that game, to have it to be the 4th best watched game. So that's a testament, to our fans. As it relates to the ESPN, family of networks, I think we've said that before. We are actively speaking with them on contract renewals, and that's about as far as I can go on that.
Yeah. So moving up the Celebration Bowl, there's the shorter prep time. But is it just – are you kind of almost at the mercy of the networks because of the money and everything that's involved?
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the networks controls it all. And, again, that's where the money is. The money is in television, right? You can put as many people in the stands as you want. It won't compare to what television pays. And when television pays you the amount of revenue that they're paying, everybody knows what the payout is for the Celebration Bowl for the 2 conferences. When you're getting more money than some FBS bowl games, they're going to tell you when you can play. So, I jumped up on the table pretty high, pretty hard, but it didn't matter any because they're saying, we paid for the rights to this game, and these is when the games are going to be played. So,
how high did you jump on the table?
Well, I kicked a couple of tables over, but it still didn't work. So they just picked them up and said, "You still gonna play a week earlier."
Hey, what good is it gonna do?
Right.
Well, Mr. Commissioner, we appreciate it, and we'll be talking at SWAC Football Media Days coming up.
Absolutely, I'm excited.
We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Dr. Charles McClellan. Always a good conversation, a lot on the plate, and Football Media Days coming up, and obviously SWAC meetings next month. Always a lot of things to talk about there as we are in the top of the 6th inning. And Kylie Wilson with the bunt attempt on 5-3 on the ground out. 1 away.
At the plate is number 7,
Marissa Perla 0 for 2 at the plate. And a pitching duel here, to say the least. Kylie Wilson, second team all-conference. Zoriana Hughes, 2 all-conference pitchers in this pitcher's duel. The loser is eliminated. Hot foul straight back off the bat of Perla. Appreciate the commissioners always, Dr. Charles McClellan, we could probably talk for 2 hours. I know he wouldn't agree to that, but it's just so much that fans always want to know. Inquiring minds want to know, but he gives us some good stuff to chew on and to talk about. 0-1 to count, 1 out here in Gulfport. Weather not a factor today. The sun is out. 80 degrees. Started out at 77 to start this one off. 0-2 the count, 1 out. Scoreless, top of the 6th inning. The loser of this game is eliminated. The winner will come back tonight at 6 to play the winner of Prairie View and Bethune-Cookman. This pitch is low. Following that game at 3:30, Alabama State and Jackson State. The winner of that game is in the SWAC championship game. The loser will have to come back tomorrow at 10:30. 1-2 the count, 1 out. The pitch from Hughes, a fly ball foul down the right side. Count remains 1-2. Chances for both teams, but not many. Just kind of ruling this one. 1-2 the count, 1 out. These two teams met in the tournament last year, May 8th. Zoriana Hughes went all the way in that matchup. Here's the 1-2. This is outside, 2-2. Top of the 6th inning in this scoreless battle. Day 3, game 1. 2-2 the count. Pitch misses outside, full count. Lene Carr on deck. Lene Carr 0 for 2. 3-2 the count, 1 out. Hughes gets the sign, brings it home. It's inside, ball 4. So 1 on, 1 out. The go-ahead run, Melissa Perla at first. Lene Carr 0 for 2, grounded to third, fly to center.
Is number 5, Lene Carr. Third on deck.
Top of the 6th inning. Second team all-conference pitcher Zoriana Hughes calls for time. Brittany Beal in her first season, high school championship coach. Just going over the situation here. You got 1 on, 1 out. It appears as if Carr's turned loose here. She doesn't appear to be in the sacrifice mode, but just wants to make sure defensively Brittany Beal is making her pitcher-catcher defense on the infield aware of the situation. Situational softball. Hey, your season's on the line. You lose this game, season's over. But Brittany Beal, first season winning the SWAC Eastern Division. And again, whether or not we'll have divisions in softball, the commissioner talked about that. It's something that will be discussed in the SWAC meetings coming up next month. 1 out, 1 on. Rise ball is high. I can say, just personally speaking with some of the coaches here at the tournament, there is synergy and energy to do that. 1-0 the count. 1 out. The 1-0. Rise ball's high, runner is going, and the throw is too late. Stolen base for Perla. So the count is 2-0. Perla walked with 1 out, stole second. We'll go ahead, is at second base here in the top of the 6th inning. 2-0 the count, got a pretty good jump. 2-0 the count, 1 out. Anna Hughes brings it home. strike call, 2-1. Full slate of games coming up next. Prairie View, Bethune-Cookman. Later, Alabama State, Jackson State. The winner of that game's in the SWAC championship. The winner of this game will come back and play tonight against the winner of Prairie View, Bethune-Cookman. The last game tonight. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss, 2-2. 2-2 the count, 1 out. Two pitch. Swing and a miss. Lene Carr goes down swinging. So runner at second, 2 out. We'll bring up Nia Durr, the third baseman, walked and singled. Florida A&M on the top of the lineup. Maple, Watson, and Townsend. 1, 2, and 3 in the lineup coming up. There's the pitch, strike call from Hughes. Scoreless. So far we've had 5-4 game, 3-2, 5-3, 3-0. Yesterday a couple of games ending after 5. In softball it's 8 runs after 5 is the run rule. Baseball it's 10 runs after 7. Count is 0-2. Speaking of baseball, looking forward to seeing you in Birmingham. 2025 SWAC baseball tournament. 1-2 the count. Runner at second. Texas Southern trying to get on the board here in the 6th. This is outside. Count is 1-2. One and 2 the count, 2 out. One-two pitch. High fly ball in the right center. There is a play, and it's caught in right. Side is retired. Townsend, the center fielder, Maple. A little confusion, but all in by Townsend. We'll take a break here as Florida A&M comes up in the bottom of the 6th inning, top of the lineup. Day 3, game 1, losers eliminated. We'll be right back after this on the SWAC Digital Network.
2025 SWAC Women's Tennis Tournament champions, the Florida A&M Rattlers.
The Southwestern Athletic Conference stands with Gatorade and a mission to get more athletes into sports. Gatorade, fuel tomorrow.
Is number 2, Sierra Maple.
Maple jumping on the first pitch, 1 pitch, 1 out. Maple
Hit it to the plate.
grounds to Menchaca.
Is number 6, Kiana Watson.
Kiana Watson, walk, caught stealing in the first, fly to short. Bottom of the 6th inning, scoreless game. Glad you can join us here. It's a little afternoon here in Gulfport. Pitch strike called. 1-1 the count. Here's the 0-1. Pitch is inside. The count is 1-1. 1-1 the count, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Rise ball is high. Count is 2-1. Two and one out. They're in at the corners. Here's the 2-1. There's a slap in the shallow right, and it's going to be caught. Nice running catch in left field by Perla.
Bottom of the 6th, no score. 2 out for the Rattlers. At the plate is number 3, Jamison Townsend.
Jamison Townsend at the plate. Had her played perfectly. That's why it wasn't that difficult of a catch. She was played too deep. That would have been a running attempt. Speed strike called. Townsend 1 for 2. Bottom of the 6th inning. Bill Cookman Prairie View coming up next. There's a ground ball too short. Charging, and the throw is there. Side is retired as Sands throws out Thompson. And ladies and gentlemen, we go to the 7th inning. Sands, Menchaca, Garcia, 5, 6, 7 coming up in this scoreless duel. We'll be right back on the SWAC Digital Network.
It's time to reimagine exceptional. Introducing the Buick Envision. Experience advanced technology with breathtaking clarity and help keep the noise out, creating a serene space within. With advanced safety technologies standard on Envision, experience confident driving wherever the road takes you. Discover what it's like to make every day an occasion. Buick, exceptional by design.
Women's golf champions, the Alabama State Lady Hornets.
A warm day to enjoy. You know that guy's got a snow cone in his cup. Know what he's got in there. A warm day to enjoy something cool. That'll be Sands at the plate. Top of the 7th inning. Everything matters now with the season on the line. The loser of this game is eliminated. The winner will come back and play tonight at around 6 o'clock. Versus the winner of our next game. Prairie View Bethune-Cookman. The loser of that game is eliminated. And the winner will have to come back to play at 6. 1-1 the count. Sands. 1 for 2. Flied it out to the right side. Both pitchers still hanging. Mariana Hughes. Kylie Wilson. Wilson has pitched every inning of this postseason for Texas Southern. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Zoriana Hughes. Swing and a miss. One away, Destiny Menchaca. She has struck out twice.
One out for Texas Southern.
7 strikeouts for Zoriana Hughes. And Chaka struck out twice, once in the second and once in the fourth. Here's a shot to right. 2 out. Played shallow. Hauled in by Townsend.
2 out. Texas Southern.
2 away.
Headed to the
Well, as we
plate.
look ahead to the bottom of the 7th inning, 4, 5, and 6 in the lineup. Amari Brown was 1 for 1. Spooner 0 for 2, and Samantha Smith 1 for 2. It's the lineup for Florida A&M. At the bottom of the 7th inning. Softball. Play by the home plate umpire. His foot down, stopping that softball. Getting a new one in. Again, a warm day. No rain today. We'll get through it. Had to dodge it the first couple of days. 2 out. The pitch is low. One and on the count, 2 out. Scoreless game. Probably go down as one of the lowest scoring game of the tournament so far. Here's the 1-0. Strike call, 1-1. One and one, the count, 2 out. Top of the 7th inning. Here's the 1-1. Away from Hughes, rolled to first to the home plate. Count is 2-1. 2-1 the count, 2 out. Out to the right side. Count is even. 2's on the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Top of the 7th inning. Hughes brings it home. Full count.
Full count.
In medium depth in the outfield. Three-two pitch. Ground ball up the middle. Dribbles through for a base hit. Oh, the go-ahead run, Charisma Garcia is at first. Melody Guardiola 0 for 2, struck out, grounded to second.
Guardiola was near to the field at the plate.
So Charisma Garcia 1 for 3, Guardiola at the plate, trying to keep the inning alive for Texas Southern. Pitch from Hughes, foul off to the right side. Again, the loser of this game is eliminated. The winner will come back tonight at 6 and play the winner of our next game, which is Prairie View and Bethune-Cookman. Both of those teams have a loss. The loser of that game is eliminated. The winner will play the winner of this game tonight. Alabama State, Jackson State, the winner of that game is in the championship game. The loser will come back tomorrow at 10:30 and play whoever comes out of the Texas Southern, FAMU, Prairie View, Bethune-Cookman. Whoever comes out of that will take on the loser of Alabama State, Jackson State tomorrow at 10:30. Time called as the catcher Spooner will come out and talk with Zoriana Hughes. 1-1 the count. 1-1 the count, 2 out. Top of the 7th inning. Hughes gets the sign, brings it home. Swing and a miss. Now there's 1-2. Hughes try to get out of this inning. Texas Southern trying to extend this inning. Here's the 1-2. Inning over. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. 2-out single, stranded. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. 3, 4, and 5. Amari Brown, Kaylee Spooner, Samantha Smith coming up. As you see that K by Zariana Hughes. Bottom of the 7th coming up here on the SWAC Digital Network.
Casino.
Fun, memories, friendship. We're here for all of it. Here for the big moments and the small ones too. We're here for unforgettable triumph, momentary misfortune, and the impromptu throwdown. We're out here each day, chasing something great. Call it adventure, call it play, we call it fun. Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there.
It's time to reimagine exceptional. Introducing the Buick Envision. Experience advanced technology with breathtaking clarity and help keep the noise out, creating a serene space within. With advanced safety technologies standard on the Vision, experience confident driving wherever the road takes you. Discover what it's like to make every day an occasion. Buick, exceptional by design.
Bottom of the 7th inning. TSU fans eagerly waiting to see what's going to happen here. Bottom of the 7th. Amari Brown, the shortstop. She is 1 for 1. Kylie Wilson has pitched every inning for Texas Southern in this tournament. It's pitch strike called. We're underway, bottom of the 7th inning. The winner moves on, the loser is eliminated. There's a high fly ball in the deep left field. Medium depth. And caught in left by Perla. Kaylee Spooner, 0 for 2, grounded to third and to second. FAMU has 3 hits in this game. Pitch strike call to Spooner. Singles by Smith, Townsend, and Amari Brown. They were issued 1 walk. Watson in the first, but she was caught stealing. Off speed misses 1-1. 1-1 the count, 1 out. Bottom of the 7th inning. Had an extra inning game. Here's the 1-1. Strike call, 1-2. 1-2 the count. To the count, 1 out. Bottom 7, 1-2. Up and in, 2-2. AMU looking to Did a run here in the bottom of the 7th and end it. Texas Southern looking to extend it. 2-2 the count. Fly ball in the shallow right center, drops for a base hit. So Spooner, 4th hit for FAMU. The winning run is at first. Let's see here, we're gonna have a pinch runner for Spooner. Probably would assume there is a pinch runner, and there is. So Spooner getting it done. Braxton Battle. The pitch runner for Spooner. Samantha Smith, 1 for 2, one of the 4 hits. Samantha Smith, number 2 pitcher. He battled last night. 7-3 loss on the mound for Florida A&M to Alabama State. That matters now. The Rattlers have a chance to keep their season alive. They score here in the bottom of the 7th. Pitch from Wilson, strike called. Oh, and 1 the count. Pitch misses outside, 1-1. One and one the count. Strike called on the outside corner. Rattlers just need a run in the 7th. They've got the winning run. Just in battle, pinch running for Spooner. 1-2 the count. The pitch. Poke it to the right side and fouled it off to the right. Count remains 1-2. Bottom 7, scoreless. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Chopper to third, throws to second for 1. Oh, it's dropped at second. Here's Battle around second, into third. She's held up. They had at least the force out. I mean, sharply hit. Could have been 2, but they had the force. And it was dropped by Menchaca, who's made some pretty good plays at second. Dropped that. That's an E4. And runners on at first and third. So now both teams huddling up. Brittany Beal huddling up her team. Raven Rodriguez trying to settle down Wilson. Well, they had the force at least at second. Menchaca dropped it as she was covering second. That allowed Battle to get to third. So first and third, Smith at first, Battle at third. And Duggins 1 for 2. The winning run is at third base for Florida A&M. First and third. Here is the pitch. Strike called. Smith lunging off of first. They're trying to challenge Texas Southern to throw the ball. 0-1 the count. Pitch to Duggins. Misses outside. And again, Smith taking second. She was baiting the catcher Garcia to throw it across. There was no way that they were going to throw it across with the winning run at third. 1-1 the count, 1 out. Here's the pitch, off speed, misses. Brianna Duggins, 0 for 2. Duggins, 291 during the season. A chance to keep Florida A&M's season alive. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Chopper to third, and the runner scores from third. A dribbler to third. They tried to get the lead run, and the flip home is too late. The pinch runner battle scores. FAMU stays alive. A little slow rolling ground ball. I like to look at it and see maybe they could have let it go foul here. Duggins just got enough of it. Yeah, I mean, you could have let that potentially go, but they fielded it, and the speedy battle scores as Florida A&M stays alive, eliminates Texas Southern. So FAMU will come back tonight, and they will play the winner of Prairie View Bethune-Cookman 1-0. Florida A&M with the win. As you take a look at it here, and maybe Durr felt like it wasn't going to go foul. Is that a chance she was willing to take? You see the spin. Yeah, it was definitely headed towards the line. Was she going to let it go? She didn't. She fielded it. And the speedy runner scores in battle. So FAMU survives. Eliminates Texas Southern. So FAMU will play tonight at 6 against the winner of Prairie View and Bethune-Cookman, which is coming up next. The winner of that game will play tonight. So the Lady Rattlers, the #1 seed in the Eastern Division, finds a way to get it done. And for FAMU, low-scoring game, as FAMU gets it done by the final score of 1-0. Pretty good game as the Rattlers survive and move on.
We follow pizza drivers, make sure the customers get a Pepsi.
Pizza guy. Pepsi guy.
Is that legal?
It's a gray area.
Not going anywhere without to enhance your pizza's flavor.
That's the perfect combo.
Yeah, he's still following me. Probably a stupid marketing stunt.
A history of winning started with the 65 Gators losing steam, losing sweat.
We've identified the problem. What is the solution?
A drink scientifically designed to hydrate better than water, so they could sweat more, win more, and change the game forever.
Boom, bop, boom, 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 bop, bam.
Naturally, we called our stuff Gatorade.
To Gulfport, glad you can join us as the Lady Rattlers move on 1-0. Head coach Brittany Beal joins us. Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
Just talk about that segment there as Smith came through a little dribbler down the third baseline.
Yeah, we've been talking about it all game, is just trying to trying to make something happen. I think today, coming back from last night, the girls were focused and they were determined to step on the field and compete.
It was a tough one inning last night. It was a 4-run difference. Just talk about trying to flush out last night and coming back early here.
It's ball, and that's one of the things, that's why we play this sport. Every day you put the pants on just the way as everybody else, and just to be able to come back just kind of shows the resilience that we have in our team. We talked about, having endurance even when the times get tough, but I think today we scratched and clawed any way possible. I think Zoe did a great job on the mound, and so I'm just excited for our team.
Well, talk about the schedule now. You play again tonight. You're used to playing double headers here and there, but you get off your feet, you rest a little bit, and you got to come right back here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is ball. This is where we want to be at the SWAC tournament, just to showcase our talent. So we're going to go get some lunch and then just kind of cool down, but kind of regroup, and I think we'll be back on the field, to compete again.
It's either Prairie View or Bethune-Cookman. Coach, congratulations.
Thank
you.
I appreciate it. Go Rattlers.
All right, that's Lady Rattler coach Brittany Beal. They survive and advance and eliminate Texas Southern. So FAMU will play later tonight around 6 if all goes well schedule-wise. And they will take on the winner of our next game, Prairie View, Bethune-Cookman. Coming up next, and then at Jackson State, Alabama State, the winner of that game is in the SWAC championship game. The loser will come back tomorrow at 10:30. But next things next. Coming up next, Prairie View, Bethune-Cookman. Here from Gulfport, we'll talk to you in about 25 minutes for Game 2 here on the SWAC Digital Network.